Chapter 17, Planning and Serving Nutritious and Economical Meals. So some characteristics of well-planned menus. It meets children's nutrient needs and developmental abilities. The menus address the at-risk nutrients that children have issues with eating, vitamin A and C, calcium, and iron. And you can find information about these vitamins and minerals on page 428 to 429 of your text. And then it meets licensing and program guidelines and regulations for the Child and Adult Care Food Program, Head Start Nutrition School Lunch, School Breakfast Program. You can find these on page 430 and 431 of your textbook. Let's talk a little bit about one of those programs, the Child and Adult Care Food Program, CACFP. This program reimburses programs for meals served if they meet certain criteria. One criteria for enrollment is family income. Compensation in part is for food, labor, and administration costs. And the program must be state licensed, and there's more information on page 432 of your text. And here's the CACFP website if you want to look up more information on that program. So what are some characteristics of well-planned menus? Well, the menu needs to appeal to children, and it should include a wide variety of familiar foods, and then some new foods for the children to try. It should be visually pleasing with lots of variety in color and textures, shapes, and temperature. It should reflect children's cultural, ethnic, and religious preferences and provide nutritious substances for children who have food allergies. So characteristics of a well-planned menu, some more are: it's prepared with foods that have been stored, handled, and served safely. It stays within budget without sacrificing nutrient quality. And so some important qualities to consider, as we mentioned before, is color. So how would you change this meal to make it more colorful and appealing? As you can see, all of the items are white: sliced turkey, mashed potatoes, cauliflower, and bread. Take a look at page 437 for some suggestions in regards to this. Color and flavor, how would you change this meal to make it more colorful and more flavorful? Macaroni and cheese, corn, white bread, bananas. Again, all the same color, and they're all smooth in texture and subtle in flavor. So the Child and Adult Food Program has the following criteria must be met to participate in this program. You have to serve meals that meet their meal patterns and include only approved foods, and you have to maintain and submit monthly food records and pass periodic program visits or audits. So here's some examples of their food meal patterns. Breakfast should include milk, fruit, or fruit juice, and the fruit juice has to be 100% juice or vegetable. And bread or cereal, preferably whole grain. Lunch or supper should include milk, meat or meat alternative, fruit and or vegetables, 2 servings of that, and bread or bread alternative, preferably whole grain. For snacks, serve 2 of the 4 categories: milk, bread or bread alternate, and again whole grain, fruit juice, 100% juice, and or vegetable, meat or meat alternative, and then encourage water consumption. So in your textbook, they have their own version of planning a menu, and you can find this on page 439 and 440, and actually we're going to be using this planning method for our assignment number 2, or our module assignment number 2. And so for lunch, you want to make sure you have milk, protein, meat or a meat alternate, 2 servings of fruit and or vegetables, and bread or cereal. For breakfast, you want to include milk, fruit or fruit juice 100% or vegetables, bread or cereal. And then for snack, any of the 2, milk, fruit juice or vegetable, bread or cereal, protein, meat or meat alternative. And remember, any 2 of these, so you don't have to have all 4. And so different approaches for writing menus. You might use weekly menus and plan food for the entire for the entire week. This can be time consuming because it's done for each week. 2 or 3 weeks at a time is more efficient. Cycle menus, this is a series of menus that you reuse over a 2 or 3 week period, usually parallel to seasons in order to cheapen the cost of fresh fruits and vegetables. And this cycle menus are more effective for ordering food. And then odd day cycle menus, this is planning for any number of days other than 5, avoids food items tied to a particular day, like always having scrambled eggs or peanut butter sandwiches on the same day. Carefully consider preparation time and the beginning and end of the week. So with meal services, you want to make sure that meal service is a peaceful, pleasant, and social atmosphere as you provide meals for the children. And you can find out more about this on page 445 of your text. Make it an attractive setting by having placemats, centerpiece pieces, encourage conversation. Different styles of meal service. You could have plate service, which provides cost and serving size control, and there's less leftovers and waste. Or to encourage more self-help skills, you can use family style service, which provides food in child-sized bowls and allow the children to serve themselves. The drink is in child-sized pitchers, so they can pour their own drink. And then the food is passed around with self-service. It promotes independence and decision-making. So when it comes to a food budget then, meal service can remain within the budget by paying special attention to the first in, first out inventory method, FIFO. And you can find more details about this on page 446. Advanced menu planning, selective food purchasing, making sure you look for foods that are on sale or are seasonably priced. Again, you can find more on this in page 446. Careful food preparation to avoid waste, and make sure you evaluate the children's likes and dislikes. We shouldn't eliminate dislikes food, but we want to try and prepare those foods in different ways so the children will become more interested in them. So record keeping is another important aspect of food planning and meal service. So funding programs usually determine the type of records that you must keep. And careful record keeping is beneficial for improving a program's food service and monitoring children's preferences. And record keeping is also helpful for serving nutritious foods while staying within a budget. And again, more details can be found on page 447 of your textbook.